O'Donoghue fired everybody, and he came in and he said, and the only reason Murphy didn't get fired is because he ate that dog food. And I was like, that wasn't dog food, that was hash. And he said, that was the age you'd be when you go to college. And this is, you know, the equivalent of Harvard for comic actors, so you're like right in the middle of it.
No, I ain't deaf. You got a problem under that big gap between your teeth?
Yeah, I got a problem. My apartment's too small. You think me and my family can move into your nose?
In the sprawling landscape of American television, there's one show that stands out like a glittering jewel in the comedic crown: Saturday Night Live. For decades, this live sketch comedy and variety spectacle has been the epicenter of laughter, catapulting comedians into the dazzling heights of fame. Yet beneath the glitter and applause, whispers of a mysterious and foreboding underbelly have swirled in the shadows of SNL's soundstage. Recently, comedy luminary Eddie Murphy, a legendary former SNL cast member, has peeled back the layers, exposing secrets that have remained buried for years. But to truly grasp the weight of these revelations, let's take a trip down memory lane to when Murphy first auditioned for SNL.
It was just one guy in the office, the guy named Neil Levy, who was Lawrence's nephew. And he's just sitting in the room by himself. And I went in this office and he just said, make me laugh.
Eddie Murphy, born on April 3rd, 1961, in the vibrant borough of Brooklyn, New York, emerged as a comedic force destined for royalty in the early 1980s, a period marked by significant transitions within Saturday Night Live. As Murphy made his grand entrance onto the SNL stage, it was nothing short of seismic. The show, undergoing a pivotal shift with the departure of its original cast, found new life with the ushering in of a fresh era, a fertile ground for the blossoming talents of the Brooklyn-born sensation. Murphy's impact was instantaneous, injecting SNL with a vitality and charisma that transcended the confines of Studio 8H and rippled across the comedic landscape. The characters Eddie Murphy brought to life swiftly became iconic, woven into the very fabric of humor's soul. Buckwheat's uproarious escapades and the cheeky allure of Gumby showcased Murphy's versatility, establishing him as a comedic virtuoso with an unparalleled ability to captivate audiences. These characters weren't just skits, they were cultural touchstones, etching themselves into the collective memory of fans and cementing Murphy's status as a comedic legend. It was on the revered Weekend Update that Murphy's razor-sharp wit found its true home, elevating him to the status of the standout performer of his era. His incisive commentary and charismatic delivery transformed Weekend Update into a must-watch segment, a platform where Murphy's comedic genius shone brightly. Each punchline was a masterstroke, each quip a testament to Murphy's unparalleled ability to navigate the delicate balance between humor and social commentary.
Police!
Just a minute!
You know what a fire escape is, boys and girls?
But beyond the laughter and applause, Murphy became a trailblazer, breaking barriers for comedians of color and leaving an indelible mark on the show's legacy. As Eddie Murphy soared to fame on SNL, the show became more than just a stage. It became the starting point for Murphy's growing career. But behind the cheers and success, there was a secret story unfolding, one that wouldn't come to light until many years later. In 1984, when Murphy left SNL, it seemed like the end of a fun era. Little did anyone know, it was the beginning of a hidden chapter in the show's story. While people were still laughing at Murphy's jokes behind the scenes, there were secrets waiting to come out. When Murphy decided to say goodbye to Studio 8H, where SNL was filmed, it left a big gap. But there was more to his leaving than met the eye, and it took a long time for people to find out why. While his time on SNL was marked by uproarious laughter and iconic moments, there existed a less visible, more taxing side to his experience, one that involved navigating the demanding pressures inherent in the world of comedy. The demands of SNL were multifaceted, and the intense schedule proved to be a significant factor in Murphy's decision to step away. The relentless pace of producing sketches week after week created an environment where time was a scarce resource, leaving little room for reflection and rejuvenation. This unceasing cycle, while crucial for the show's success, took a toll on Murphy's creative energies. The constant pressure to deliver comedic gold, meeting the high expectations set by himself and the audience, became an arduous task. Comedians, by the nature of their craft, face a unique set of challenges. The pursuit of laughter, while seemingly carefree, often conceals the weight of expectations and the demand for perpetual innovation. In Murphy's case, the demanding environment that had initially nurtured his talents eventually became a crucible that tested his limits. The line between creative exploration and the relentless grind of meeting audience expectations can blur, leaving comedians like Murphy yearning for respite from the ceaseless demands. Beyond the spotlight and the applause, the comedy world poses a continuous challenge for performers. The pressure to stay relevant, to consistently generate fresh and uproarious content, and to balance creative expression with audience expectations can be overwhelming. Anyway, Hollywood was also calling Murphy's name with exciting offers. After becoming a big deal on SNL, everyone in the entertainment industry wanted a piece of him. Movie roles and cool projects were waiting for Murphy, giving him a chance to show off more of his talents and prove he could do all sorts of things. The idea of being in movies was too tempting for him, and it pulled him away from the weekly grind of SNL. On the surface, it seemed like Eddie Murphy left SNL to explore new creative paths. But recent discoveries have added a mysterious twist to the story. It turns out that beneath all the laughter and success, there was more going on than people knew. The reasons for Murphy's departure weren't just about wanting to do different things creatively. There's a darker side to the story that has only come to light recently.
O'Donohue fired everybody, and he came in and he said, and the only reason Murphy didn't get fired is because he ate that dog food. And I was like, that wasn't dog food, that was hash.
While Murphy's departure was ostensibly fueled by a desire for creative autonomy, recent revelations have introduced a darker element to the narrative. Whispers of substance AB, particularly nose candy, began to circulate, suggesting a troubling undercurrent within the SNL environment. In a revealing 2016 interview with The Hollywood Reporter on its Awards Chatter podcast, Eddie Murphy shared a poignant moment from his past that not only showcased the camaraderie of Hollywood's comedic legends, but also highlighted the pivotal choices that shaped his life. At the tender age of 18, while working in a blues bar, Murphy found himself at a crossroads when confronted by none other than Robin Williams and John Belushi, accompanied by Dan Aykroyd. Recalling the incident, Murphy recounted how Belushi and Williams offered him substances, specifically referring to nose candy. Remarkably young Eddie Murphy, even then displaying a strength of character that would define his journey, declined the invitation into the world of substance use. The rejection, however, came with a lighthearted rebuke from Belushi, who playfully labeled Murphy a for opting out. Looking back on this pivotal moment, Murphy expressed a sense of amazement at how a simple decision at that juncture had the potential to alter the entire trajectory of his life. In his own words, he reflected, "Just think how none of this ish would have happened. The Eddie Murphy story would have been totally different." The hindsight realization carried a profound weight, contemplating the alternate path he might have taken and the unforeseen consequences of succumbing to the allure of substances. The names of Belushi and Williams, both brilliant comedians in their own right, resonate with a tinge of tragedy. Belushi succumbed to a substance overdose in 1982, marking a premature end to his vibrant career. Williams, battling with the demons of nose candy and alcohol addiction, tragically checked himself into rehab shortly before his death by suicide in 2014. Their stories serve as cautionary tales about the darker side of fame and the perils that can accompany creative genius. Eddie Murphy, however, emerged from that pivotal encounter unscathed and, importantly, sober. His steadfast refusal to partake in the substance offer proved to be a defining moment in his life. In the interview, Murphy emphasized that he remains sober to this day, revealing, "I don't drink, I don't have like this moral thing about it, I just don't do it." His abstinence from substances is not merely a personal choice, but a testament to the series of conscious decisions that shaped his career and life. Reflecting on these turning points, Murphy acknowledged that there were several instances in his life when he could have spiraled into self-destructive habits. Yet he spoke with a sense of gratitude and a firm belief in a higher power, stating, "I know that God is real. There's been a bunch of times when I could have wound up crashing and burning. I just stepped over here right on time." Murphy's journey, marked by resilience and wisdom, serves as a beacon of inspiration, showcasing the profound impact that individual choices can have on the course of a life. The revelation of Eddie Murphy being offered substances by John Belushi and Robin Williams during his time at Saturday Night Live sheds light on a facet of the entertainment industry that, while not surprising, underscores the prevalent substance culture within the SNL and broader Hollywood scene during that era. It's crucial to acknowledge that the entertainment industry, particularly during the late 70s and early 80s, was no stranger to the presence of substances. SNL, with its vibrant and often chaotic atmosphere, was not exempt from the countercultural wave that permeated the larger artistic community. The creative minds behind the sketches and performances were navigating an environment where experimentation and boundary pushing were not limited to comedic content alone. The substance culture of that time was fueled by various factors, including the broader societal shifts of the 60s and 70s. The counterculture movements and the rejection of traditional norms influenced many artists, fostering an atmosphere of rebellion and experimentation. In this context, substances like nose candy became synonymous with creativity and a perceived means to enhance artistic expression. SNL, with its reputation for pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo, naturally attracted individuals with a penchant for pushing personal boundaries as well. The pressure to consistently deliver groundbreaking and edgy content may have contributed to a culture where substances were not just present, but in some instances perceived as an integral part of the creative process. In any case, if we entertain the notion that the substance culture at SNL played a role in Murphy's decision to leave, it raises poignant questions about the toll of a demanding schedule coupled with the allure of substances in the entertainment industry. Murphy, thrust into the limelight at a young age, might have grappled with the dichotomy of his skyrocketing career and the pitfalls of an environment that normalized excess. The potential connection between substance AB and creative pursuits is a contentious yet deeply ingrained aspect of the entertainment industry's history. The dichotomy of the tortured artist seeking solace or inspiration in substances is a recurring theme. In Murphy's case, the question arises: was his departure a strategic move to distance himself from a potentially perilous atmosphere, or was it primarily motivated by the pursuit of new creative horizons? Moreover, the alleged substance culture at SNL during Murphy's tenure prompts reflection on the broader implications for the mental and physical well-being of those involved in such productions. If substance use was more than a sporadic indulgence and instead permeated the fabric of the workplace, the toll on the cast and crew could have been profound. The dark undercurrents of fame, excess, and substance use cast a shadow over the laughter and applause, inviting us to scrutinize the glamour of showbiz and question whether it conceals a more ominous reality. Eddie Murphy's journey through SNL, with all its highs and lows, serves as a microcosm of the complex interplay between creativity, celebrity, and the potential pitfalls that lurk behind the curtain. However, the narrative surrounding substance-related issues at Saturday Night Live extends beyond Eddie Murphy, encompassing other prominent figures. For context, in the early days, before SNL became synonymous with its current name, the cast often delved into the world of substance AB. For starters, during a gathering to watch another Saturday show, writer Neil Levy got so stoned that he locked himself in the bathroom. Dan Aykroyd, with his characteristic humor, talked Levy out of his paranoia, creating a memorable moment that showcased both camaraderie and the prevalent substance AB behind the scenes. Famed Texas author and screenwriter Terry Southern, who wrote for Saturday Night Live during the 80s, and although he hasn't done any interviews about his time on the show, he did send a fax to the authors of Saturday Night, a backstage history of Saturday Night Live that summed up the substance use in his time on the show. Perhaps the most memorable aspect of working at SNL was the quantity of dope or substances on hand. We were well nigh up to our proverbial A's in toot, hemp, speed, oil, and hash, what have you. Talk about your ever-loving cornucopias of sense derangement. Garrett Morris, an underappreciated talent from SNL's original cast, also struggled with substance AB, including freebasing nose candy. One of his favorite pastimes was getting high in his dressing room instead of working out the blocking prior to the show. Morris's substance use got so bad that he began to claim that an invisible hypnotist robot was sitting on his shoulder and controlling his actions. His nose candy use and paranoia got so out of control that during one rehearsal for a scene with Jim Downey, Morris ripped off his shirt and shouted, "How dare you interrupt me during a sacred moment?" Additionally, in 1993, Cypress Hill, at the height of their stoner rap persona, lit a joint on stage before smashing their instruments during an SNL performance. The act resulted in a lifetime ban from the show, highlighting the clash between the counterculture of certain musical acts and the mainstream television environment. Tom Davis, an original SNL writer, also shared a tale of taking LSD and handwriting all the copy for his sketches. The surreal experience, marked by illegible handwriting, speaks to the unconventional creative processes driven by substance use during SNL's early years. What's more, Lorraine Newman, facing a hornet's nest of substance problems, spent considerable time playing solitaire in her dressing room. When she wasn't playing solitaire, Newman and Radner would get together and indulge in their parallel addictions. In the book Live from New York, Newman remembered, "There were times when she and I would hang out at her house, and I would be snorting nose candy, and she would be eating a gallon of ice cream. And I remember her staggering to the bathroom to throw up and saying, 'I'm so full I can't hear.' And I laughed so hard. There we were, practicing our illnesses together. She was still funny throughout all of it. But off all the substance-related deaths that litter Saturday Night Live, Chris Farley's may be the saddest. Not because he was funnier or better or anything like that, but because of the death of John Belushi, he had a clear idea of where his substance use would take him. In the final year of Farley's life, he returned to New York to host SNL, and rather than be the clean and sober Farley that had been promised, he was running around town with an escort. According to an anonymous staffer, he was drinking before anything had been written. The second I saw him at the first meeting, I knew he was looped. By the late 70s, the prevalence of substances among the cast led producer Lorne Michaels to hire a security guard, Alvin, to monitor the 17 floor elevators at Rockefeller Center, ensuring no unexpected visits from the police. Surprisingly, actor Richard Dreyfuss, known for roles in films like Close Encounters, was also an avid substance user. He expressed admiration for those who could outdo him in substance consumption, reflecting the prevalent substance culture surrounding SNL. He told Vanity Fair, "I remember that during the final dress rehearsal, John Belushi couldn't stand up. He'd been like falling around and mumbling and forgetting everything. I thought, he'll never make it through this show. Then the show came around and he was perfect. He was incredible. And I remember being astounded by that because at the time, I was very admiring of anyone who could take substances better than I could." Meanwhile, Dan Aykroyd, while not succumbing to substances himself, often had to navigate John Belushi's erratic behavior fueled by nose candy. According to Aykroyd, when Belushi wasn't on nose candy, he got deep into painkillers, and it made his performances dangerous. "We were doing a lecture in Rhode Island once, and he jumped off the stage and shattered his shin. It was a Catherine the Great sketch, and he had a long wig on. He was really effed up that day." The link between the SNL experience and the later struggles some alumni face with substances makes us wonder about the toll of the show's tough environment. The pressure to be funny every week, combined with the uncertainty of success in the entertainment world, can create a situation where people might turn to unhealthy ways of dealing with stress. It's important to note that not everyone who is on SNL faces these challenges, but the case of Eddie Murphy, who almost got caught up in substance AB, highlights the potential dangers of a career on the famous show. The constant expectation to be funny, along with the live and high-pressure nature of the show, might contribute to an environment where some people end up relying on substances to cope. This brings up the question of whether SNL, in its quest for comedic excellence and cultural impact, unintentionally becomes a place where personal struggles develop among its cast and crew. While the show is renowned for nurturing comedic talent, we need to ask, at what cost? The revelations about substance issues among SNL alumni prompt us to take a closer look at the show's internal dynamics. Is the intense and demanding environment sustainable for the long-term well-being of those involved? Does the pursuit of comedic brilliance come at the price of the mental and emotional health of its participants? These questions, when compared to the seemingly glamorous image of SNL, encourage us to rethink its reputation as a comedic haven. The laughter we see on screen hides the difficulties faced behind the scenes, where individuals navigate the challenging intersection of fame, creativity, and the relentless demands of the entertainment industry. In addition to the personal struggles and internal challenges encountered by Eddie Murphy during his tenure on SNL, a deeper layer of complexity emerges when delving into the show's historical concerns regarding diversity and racial dynamics. SNL has faced prolonged criticism for its insufficient representation, both in terms of its cast composition and its portrayal of racial and ethnic communities. In the early 1980s, Murphy stood as one of the few black cast members on SNL, despite his undeniable talent. The show, however, failed to mirror the diverse reality of the world, showcasing a systemic problem within SNL that reflected broader issues within the entertainment industry. Although Murphy's brilliance often overshadowed the racial disparities in SNL's casting choices, the underlying problem of a predominantly white cast and limited opportunities for performers from diverse backgrounds persisted. Murphy's characters broke free from racial stereotypes, resonating across demographics. Yet, his success did not mitigate the systemic issues ingrained in SNL's representation. These racial dynamics extended beyond the cast composition to the portrayals of different ethnic groups in sketches. SNL faced occasional criticism for perpetuating stereotypes and employing racially insensitive humor. While some sketches aimed at challenging societal norms and offering social commentary, others fell short, reinforcing harmful stereotypes and contributing to an exclusionary cultural environment. The challenges of diversity and racial insensitivity have endured, prompting ongoing conversations about the imperative need for change within SNL. Concerns about on-screen representation have been paralleled by discussions about diversity behind the scenes, including in the show's writing and decision-making processes. The entertainment industry, SNL included, has confronted a reckoning in recent years as demands for increased diversity and inclusion have intensified. Many have called for systemic changes to ensure that on-screen narratives and the individuals shaping those stories more authentically reflect the diversity found in the real world. Eddie Murphy's time on SNL, despite his exceptional success, serves as a poignant reminder that even immensely talented individuals can find themselves in environments lacking inclusivity. As the entertainment landscape evolves, institutions like SNL must address and rectify historical issues, fostering an environment where diverse voices can flourish and contribute to the ongoing success of the show. Eddie Murphy's legacy on SNL not only encompasses comedic brilliance, but also stands as a testament to the challenges inherent in navigating a complex and, at times, exclusionary industry. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.